No one wants to believe that someone they love, someone they trust, could lie to them. But the world doesn't operate according to our wishes, it operates according to human nature. And within that nature, deception is a very real part. People lie more often than you think, and ironically, the lies that hurt the most rarely come from strangers. They come from those we once trusted completely. Humans have a dangerous habit, believing what they want to believe, rather than what they see. When someone begins to show signs of dishonesty, we often rush to defend them. We tell ourselves, they're just tired, there must be a reason, maybe I'm overthinking. Yet deep inside, there's always a quiet voice whispering, something isn't right. That voice is intuition, the one that's usually right, but often silenced to protect our feelings instead of the truth. The Stoics never feared the truth, no matter how painful it was. Because they understood this, facing a hard truth hurts once, but living inside a lie hurts every day. You can't stop people from lying to you, but you can learn to recognize it. Because lies, no matter how skillful, always leave traces. Not in the words themselves, but in the pauses between them, in the rhythm of a breath, in the flicker of an eye, or in the details that feel too polished or too vague. In this video, we'll explore 7 subtle signs that someone is lying to you, tiny signals that reveal dishonesty with surprising accuracy. Not to make you paranoid, but to free you from blind trust. Because between trusting people and trusting the truth, the Stoic always chooses the truth no matter how raw, no matter how painful. The first sign Stoic philosophy warns us about is this: they always try to change the subject when you get close to the truth. Lies don't always begin with false words. Often they begin with avoidance. A liar rarely denies directly. They simply drift away. You ask something important, and they answer with something irrelevant. You touch the core of the story, and instantly they steer the conversation elsewhere smoothly, naturally, as if it were just a passing thought. But it's not coincidence. It's a calculated move to lead you away from the heat. Liars understand that truth doesn't need time, but lies do. They need time to arrange, to justify, to cool down the question that caught them off guard. That's why they change the subject, not because they forget, but because they need an escape route. And most of us don't notice it, deceived by their ease of speech, their calm tone, their practiced smile. They don't run, they glide. And that glide is what makes us lose the trail. There's a harsh rule in communication. The one most afraid of the truth will speak the most when the truth is near. They fill the air with words because they fear silence. In silence, your eyes can see through them, and the illusion they've built has nowhere to hide. Honest people don't run from questions, they simply answer. Liars can't. All they can do is steer. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If something frightens you, look straight at it, and you'll see it for what it is, an illusion." When someone constantly dodges direct questions, remember you're not seeing honesty, you're seeing the illusion of it. They're performing, not with bold deception, but with subtle control, making you believe the topic doesn't matter, that something else deserves your attention. But truth never fears being questioned, only lies do. Sometimes, we're not deceived by another person's lie, but by our own kindness. We don't want to make them uncomfortable. We don't want to seem harsh. We don't want to break the fragile peace. But every time we stay silent while someone avoids the truth, we give deceit more room to grow. And when the truth finally breaks open, we're not just angry at them. We're angry at ourselves for ignoring what was always clear. Truth often arrives in silence, while lies require noise. The Stoics knew that silence isn't weakness. It's a form of deeper seeing. When you're calm, you hear what others don't say. Among countless words, you notice what's missing. And it's in that missing piece that the real truth hides. A liar can manipulate emotions, but they can't manipulate the awareness of a focused mind. Because when you truly listen, not just with your ears, but with your presence, you can feel the exact moment they change the subject, like a tiny crack in the flow. And sometimes recognizing that crack is all it takes to see the entire wall behind it. The second sign is defensiveness without being attacked. People who lie aren't afraid of questions, they're afraid of the silence that follows them. Because in that silence, they must face themselves. Unable to bear that confrontation, they overreact. You ask a simple, harmless question, and they respond as if you've accused them of a crime. Your words haven't even touched them, yet they've already built a wall, not to protect the truth, but to protect the lie. Unnecessary defensiveness is the instinctive reflex of someone afraid of being exposed. Like a person who's hidden something for too long, even the faintest sound of suspicion triggers them. They jump, their tone rises, their speech speeds up, their eyes turn wary. On the surface, it seems they're defending their honor, but in reality, they're trying to silence the panic inside. Honest people don't need to defend themselves, they just tell the truth. Liars, however, live in a dilemma. If they say too little, the truth might slip out. If they say too much, their words might contradict. So they choose the third option, to attack first. Human beings are easily fooled by the appearance of emotion. We assume that anger means innocence and calmness means guilt. But the truth isn't that simple. The Stoics knew that anger isn't a sign of righteousness. It's a sign of losing control. The more someone defends themselves, the more they expose their weakness. The more they try to prove their innocence, the clearer it becomes that they're hiding something. Because truth doesn't need protection, it stands on its own. Liars live in a constant state of tension. Every question feels like a needle that might burst the bubble they've built. They can't relax because if they do, the mask cracks. So they choose to stay on guard, always ready with explanations, always prepared to twist the situation, always trying to make you feel like you've gone too far. But that defensiveness isn't strength. It's fear disguised as a loud voice. The Stoic, when questioned, doesn't rush to react. They listen, reflect, and respond with truth because they have nothing to protect except their own calm. Those who have never found that calm can only resist. They see every question as an attack, every glance as an accusation. And in that fear, they reveal themselves not through what they say, but through how they defend. When someone becomes overly sensitive to ordinary things, you don't need to argue. Just observe. Because in the heat of reaction, people reveal more than they ever do in silence. Like the surface of water, it's only when the wind rises that you finally see what lies beneath. The third sign is their story is too perfect to be real. Truth always contains rough edges. Human memory is imperfect, and real life never unfolds like a polished script. So when someone tells a story that's too smooth, too precise, too well arranged, be careful. What they're sharing may not be a memory at all, but an edited version of one. Honest people tell stories from memory. Liars tell stories with a purpose. One recalls to share, the other recalls to persuade. And that difference lives in the rhythm of their words. Real memories have paused moments when the speaker stops to remember, searches for the right detail, or hesitates at emotion. False memories, however, flow like water, without cracks, without turns, because they're not being remembered, they're being manufactured. The truth is, we're rarely deceived because the lie is clever. We're deceived because we want to believe in order. We prefer stories that make sense, that are clear and easy to digest. We forget that real life doesn't follow a script. It's messy, illogical, full of contradictions. But it's precisely those contradictions that make it real. Liars build small worlds where every detail fits perfectly, but those worlds don't last. Ask one more question and cracks begin to show. They must remember too much, adjust too often, recall what they said yesterday so they don't slip today. And in trying to control every word, they lose the one thing honest people always have: naturalness. The Stoic doesn't rush to expose anyone. They simply observe the gap between appearance and essence. They know that truth never needs effort to be believed, while lies constantly struggle to survive. That struggle itself is the crack. And when you're calm enough to see it, you'll realize, the smoother the story, the more the person behind it trembles. The fourth sign is their body avoids direct eye contact. When people lie, their bodies confess before their words do. The eyes shift, hands move awkwardly, shoulders turn slightly away, feet point in another direction, tiny gestures, yet the most honest language of the unconscious. The mouth can lie, but the body cannot. It reacts to true emotion before reason has time to censor it. Some people are masters of verbal deception, yet their bodies tell the truth in silence. When they speak, their eyes don't meet yours. When you ask a question, they glance away or pretend to be distracted. Small but telling movements. It's not insecurity, it's fear of being seen through. They know that under direct gaze, lies become exposed. The eyes are mirrors of truth, and liars fear their own reflection in them. Sometimes the avoidance isn't just in the eyes, but in the whole body. Liars often turn slightly aside, as if to create a safe distance between themselves and the listener. They might smile or speak normally, but their bodies lean away, subtly searching for an exit. These details aren't random. They are instinctive reactions of someone burdened by the weight of falsehood. The irony is that people can act very well, but their bodies never follow the script. The body remains loyal to the truth, even when the mind tries to betray it. That's why the Stoic doesn't just listen with ears, they listen with observation. They seek the truth, not in the words spoken, but in the pauses between them. They focus not on what is said, but on what is being hidden. When someone can't look you in the eye, they're not just avoiding your gaze, they're avoiding seeing themselves reflected in it. The gaze of an honest person is steady, not confrontational, not evasive, simply calm. But a liar's eyes, no matter how composed, always flicker with unease. Their glance darts away too quickly or lingers unnaturally long. An unsteady gaze is often the doorway to what's being concealed within. You don't need to press, interrogate, or demand. Just remain silent, because silence itself has power, enough to make the dishonest feel unsafe within it. And in that stillness, they'll reveal themselves through a quick glance away, a forced smile, or a subtle step back. The fifth sign is they laugh to escape serious moments. Not every smile comes from joy, some come from fear. These are the smiles that appear when they shouldn't, when the topic turns serious, when the room grows quiet, when truth is about to surface. They laugh, not because they're relieved, but because they can't handle the weight of honesty. The sound seems carefree at first, but it's really a fragile shield, used by someone too afraid to face what's real. People often use laughter as an escape when they feel cornered. When they don't want to answer, they joke. When a question hits too close to the heart, they laugh to break the rhythm. And when they sense your seriousness, they try to dissolve it with a playful remark, as if they're lightening the mood. But what they're really rescuing isn't the atmosphere, it's themselves from being exposed. Laughter can soothe, but it can also conceal. It turns gravity into something trivial, distracts the listener, and allows the conversation to drift away as if nothing meaningful was said. They know that as long as you stay serious, their lie remains under scrutiny. So they pull you toward comfort, toward superficiality. And if you accept that invitation, the truth stays buried beneath polite laughter. There are people who make everything seem like no big deal. They hide behind cheerfulness, mask fear with humor. But behind that relaxed facade lies a mind stretched tight with anxiety, afraid of being seen, afraid of being questioned, afraid of the silence where truth might enter. Their laughter isn't joy, it's the heartbeat of fear. The most dangerous form of deceit isn't a spoken lie, it's when deceit becomes a joke. Because once that happens, the line between truth and falsehood blurs. Everything becomes just for fun. Don't take it seriously. You're overthinking. And in that fog of casualness, truth suffocates quietly. Even the listener starts lying to themselves because no one wants to be the one who ruins the good mood. Humor is a gift, but when misused, it becomes a tool of avoidance. A person can lie with words, but they can also lie with a smile. And the Stoic, when they see such a smile, doesn't assume it means peace. They know some smiles are simply masks covering cracks within the soul. Truth doesn't need laughter to be gentle. It only needs a calm mind to receive it. But liars fear that calm because in silence, every false note echoes louder than any laugh ever could. Another crucial sign is they become vague when you ask for details. Liars fear details because details are where truth lives. The moment you ask specific questions, when, where, who was there, what exactly happened, they begin to drift into the fog of language. They don't lie outright, they just don't say enough. They use floating words and blurry phrases like, around that time, something like that, probably, or we'll figure it out. They create a comfortable gray zone, safe enough to avoid being caught, but empty enough to avoid giving answers. And in that gray zone, deception thrives. Truth always has form. It has a time, a place, a sound, a feeling. Lies don't. Lies are smoke, shaped by the speaker's intentions. The more details, the greater the risk of exposure. The more specific, the harder to stay consistent. So they let their story float in the air, just real enough to ripple the surface, but never deep enough to show the bottom. The sad truth is, most people never ask for more detail. Out of politeness, discomfort, or fear of seeming intrusive, we let vagueness stand, and that's how lies survive. A liar doesn't need to be brilliant. They only need a listener who won't challenge them. A half answer, if untested, becomes accepted truth. And soon the holes in their story are quietly filled by our own silence. Lies exist not only in what is said, but in what is left unsaid. When someone answers your question with words that drift and wander, pay attention to the spaces between them. In those spaces lies what they fear to speak the truth, imprisoned beneath hesitation. The Stoic knows that truth often hides not in speech, but in the unnatural quiet that follows it. An honest person's words flow in rhythm with their breath. A liar's words break and stutter, not from shyness, but from calculation. They pick their words carefully, afraid to step into the trap they've built themselves. They speak like someone walking across thin ice, listening to each creak beneath their feet. And in that carefulness, the truth erodes, leaving behind only smooth, empty sentences. Vagueness is the cloak worn by those who can't yet face responsibility. The less truth they offer, the more words they use. The less emotion they feel, the more reasons they invent. But it all serves one purpose: to make you stop asking. Because for them, every question is a needle threatening to burst the balloon of deceit they're holding inside. Truth has weight, lies are light. The Stoic chooses to carry the weight because only what's heavy can anchor the mind in reality. Vagueness, no matter how pleasant it sounds, only makes us drift further away from it. The final sign is they don't really listen, they just wait for their turn to speak. There's a kind of silence that doesn't come from listening, but from preparation, the silence of someone who isn't truly hearing you, only waiting for you to pause so they can jump in with their part. They nod, they look at you, they seem engaged, but their eyes are somewhere else. In their mind, replies are already being assembled. Excuses, justifications, diversions, all lined up, waiting for the moment you stop talking so they can seize control of the conversation again. A liar cannot truly listen. To listen, one must let go of defense, something they cannot do. They fear silence, because in silence, they might hear themselves the echo of what isn't real. So they fill every gap with words. They talk fast, talk often, talk endlessly, as if quiet itself were an enemy. They mistake dominating a conversation for holding power, when in truth, it's only a form of escape. Those who aren't genuine can't be present in a conversation because their mind is elsewhere, busy covering tracks. They don't listen to understand, they listen to respond. And there's something strange you'll notice in every reply. It comes too quickly, too smoothly, as if pre-written. The honest, on the other hand, pause. They take a breath before speaking. Their words come from reflection, not rehearsal, from the authenticity of being fully there. Talking to a liar feels like talking to a wall shaped like a person. They respond, but don't connect. They hear, but don't absorb. Every word you say seems to vanish into the air, leaving no trace. Because for them, a conversation isn't an exchange, it's a performance. They're there to act, not to understand. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we may listen twice as much as we speak." But liars reverse this. They have 1 ear to filter only what serves them, and 2 mouths, 1 to speak, 1 to defend. They don't seek truth, they seek control. And because of that, they can't listen. Listening requires humility and the willingness to accept that you might not know everything. But deceit thrives in arrogance, the belief that clever words can bend reality. In truth, those who can't listen aren't just lying to others, they're lying to themselves. They fear the truth so deeply that they won't let it enter their ears. They avoid listening because to hear means to acknowledge, and acknowledgement is something liars cannot bear. So they talk and talk, hoping their own noise will drown out reality. But noise never destroys truth. It only exhausts the one hiding from it. In the end, you'll notice this. Honest people leave you feeling calm after a conversation. Dishonest ones, no matter how charming, always leave a trace of fatigue, like stepping out of a room with stale air. Because between two people, only one was truly present. And where presence is missing, truth can never exist. People can lie in 1,000 different ways, but truth has only one form, and it doesn't need decoration. It stands quietly, needing no defense, no justification, no audience. Truth doesn't fear questions, scrutiny, or doubt, because it cannot change no matter which angle you look from. Only lies require explanations, makeovers, and layers of words to survive. And that's where the difference shows. Truth is calm, lies are noisy. A person may be skilled at speaking, but no one can hide forever. A lie is like a bad seed. Bury it as deep as you want. One day it will sprout, breaking through the soil of words to expose the roots that were meant to stay hidden. No one can maintain a false story for long without cracks showing in the eyes, in the voice, in the very way they exist. Because lying isn't just an act, it's a burden. Every lie is a small stone, and with each one, the weight grows heavier. Sooner or later, they have to put the bag down. Truth may cost you someone, but it will never cost you yourself. Lies do the opposite. They offer temporary comfort, then quietly steal your self-respect, your peace, your sleep. The Stoic chooses truth, not because they enjoy pain, but because they know the pain of truth is temporary, while the suffocation of deceit lasts forever. And when you become still enough to live in truth, you no longer need to question others, because when the mind is clear, lies can't stay close. They leave on their own, just as darkness retreats when light appears. Truth doesn't need to be defended. It only needs to be recognized. And once you recognize it, no lie in the world can ever scare you again. If something in this video made you pause, made you reflect on someone or on yourself, don't rush to react. Just observe, because realizing the truth is never comfortable, but it's always the first step toward freedom. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Sometimes one honest reflection from you today might help someone see what they've long been avoiding. And if you wish to continue this journey with us, the journey of seeing reality clearly, facing yourself fully, and remaining calm amid the uncontrollable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And if you carry only one thing from this video, let it be this. Truth never needs your belief, it only needs your courage to look at it.